Please stand by while we roll one up. How we doing? Not dropping frames? Sweet. All right, my niggas, welcome to SmokeToThinkOn.com's Blunt Talk in the motherfucking morning. I am your host, Rodney Dangermouth. We're smoking a little bit of Chemdog, drinking a little bit of coffee, trying to get this motherfucking morning started correctly. Right on, right fucking on, right fucking on. So we're gonna start today with the Obama veto. So those aren't aware, there were 28 pages of the 9/11 Commission report that were completely redacted, completely censored, removed. Motherfuckers were like, but what do them 28 pages say? And people in the know, including people from the commission report, as well as others who had read the 28 pages before it was censored, said that what those 28 pages basically said is that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was directly involved in the attacks of 9/11. Our legislative branch passed a bill that would let 9/11 families sue Saudi Arabia and force them, at least monetarily, to take responsibility for their direct involvement in 9/11. Now, in Mr. Obama's defense, President Obama, fucking whatever, in his defense, he has said since day one that he would likely veto this bill because Saudi Arabia said, if you pass this bill, we will pull out billions of dollars of assets. The American economy will fucking take a massive blow. Now, he's probably right in doing this in terms of economic stability. But I would urge and I would suggest to the president that maybe, just maybe, This is the opportunity we've been waiting for to get off of foreign oil's tit. Just maybe, Mr. President Obama, you should not veto the bill and sign the motherfucker and force the Saudi Arabians out of the American economy. Call their bluff. Because let me fucking tell you, Mr. President, in case your economists didn't, we buy a lot of fucking Saudi oil. A lot. We're like #1 on the purchase list. And it goes both ways. Saudi Arabia has a lot of wealth in oil, but we're the ones who buy it. They pull out billions of dollars in assets. We can just stop buying their oil altogether. We can play that game too, Mr. Obama. And we have oil reserves here in this country that if we need to, we could tap into to supplement the loss of the Saudi Arabian oil. Don't be such a pussy. This kingdom trained, produced, and radicalized the 19 hijackers that the Bush administration and the fucking Bush-Cheney crime syndicate hired to fucking blow up the goddamn World Trade Center. And you are not going to let the families, the people who have been devastated for 15 years without any closure or justice, you're just going to fuck them in the ass. Okay. We'll see how that approval rating shifts real fucking quick as people find out that this is what's happened. But he did it to protect America. No, he didn't. He did it to fucking cowtail to some goddamn foreign banksters, basically. You know, the entire world economy runs on a petrodollar. He who owns the Petra owns the bank. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this because, frankly, it infuriates me. It fucks my whole day up. But just so you know, I'm not crazy. This is what's been confirmed by the White House. Yeah. It looks like maybe there's still a little time. So, I want to ask you and everybody else to share this with your friends and to urge everyone you know to call the fucking White House. Call their congressman, their senator, and have their senator call the White House. Tell fucking Obama not to veto this bill. Ask him, beg him, command him as your fucking leader, the man you hired to do your bidding in this world. Tell him what your bidding is. Don't let him veto this bill. I realize that this is a cry into the dark heard by few and will be extrapolated by none, but you gotta try, right? Please, do what you can. Stop this from being vetoed. Do not allow him to set precedent for other countries to be directly involved in terror and not be fucking held responsible. I mean, you all wanted justice from fucking Ted Kaczynski. You all wanted justice out of fucking... What is that little douchebag with the Confederate flag behind him that shot up the black church? You know who I'm talking about. You wanted justice for those fucking people. But justice for the families of 9/11? Oh, that doesn't matter for most because xenophobia. Fucking... Orwell was right. Double speak and new think. Or double think and new speak just run rapid in this world. Now, some have argued that if Obama passes this bill, that it sets a different kind of precedent for like the people of Vietnam to sue the United States for invading their country for heroin, leaving it a fucking wreck, and then bouncing out at the last minute. Would that really be so bad? And I mean, now I'm talking to the straight up liberal folks. Y'all want to give reparations to black people today for the injustices of long dead fucking relatives, could we maybe send some loot over to the Vietnamese who actually fucking suffered at the hands of the United States? Would that really be so bad? I guess when you start thinking about it in the extrapolation, yes, it is that bad. We got Korea, North Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, the entire Central and South American excursions. Okay, I guess it would be a poor precedent to set because, well, we've done this so many fucking times that we would go bankrupt if we let all of the countries we fucked over sue us, or all of the families of all the countries we fucked over sue us. But in terms of pure justice and legitimacy there, I think that the American families should be allowed to sue the Saudi Arabian government. And fucking quite frankly, yes, if there's some goddamn Vietnamese guy whose life was destroyed 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and he's still alive and he wants to sue the American government, fucking let him. Let that precedent be. I mean, on one hand, as cold and terrible as it sounds, the United States has the privilege of having having been involved directly in terror in other countries that are too poor to really make a difference, even if they did sue us. I mean, let's be fair. If 100 Vietnamese sued the American government, it would be a drop in the bucket. We could pay them all a couple $1 million and just keep going on blowing up brown countries around them. Be no big deal. The problem Saudi Arabia has is that 300 or 3,000 Americans, family members, want to be compensated. That means they're compensating mom and dad. Saudi Arabia may have a lot of money, but it doesn't have its opponent, the Americans, so to speak. We have the time and resources to take on that kind of a lawsuit. Whereas your average Vietnamese person is not going to be able to acquire a fucking lawyer to take an entire country to court. So the precedent that they're worried about is not really that big of a fucking deal. And the Saudi Arabian government should pay. They fucking should pay. They should pay the families of 9/11 families of 9/11 victims because they were directly involved in a fucking horrible fucking attack. It was all about creating a state and a climate in the Middle East that would allow the United States to come in and bully the rest of the Middle East around for the Saudi Arabians. Because once again, social justice warriors, Saudi Arabia is a place that needs you terribly. They need your women's rights movement. Because women aren't allowed to drive or leave the country after they've turned 30 without their dad's permission. I'm not kidding. I got a friend over there, 30-year-old woman, can't leave the country without dad's permission. Do you understand? There could be a corporation here in the United States ready to pay her for her visa, for all of her legal shit, not to mention a place for her to stay. She can't come unless dad says it's okay. Do you understand? Saudi Arabia desperately needs you, social justice warriors. Get on plane, and they're partaking in the 9/11. Just saying. Anyway, let's move on. Brown University. Brown University is to consider undocumented and DACA students as domestic applicants. Now, I'm going to pray that as domestic applicants, they'll still be charged on the out-of-state, non-resident fucking price tag, because that's pretty much the only thing about this that would really piss me off. Here's my feelings on this, okay? You're an illegal immigrant. You're here in America. You got money to go to college. Have a fucking nice time. Learn all you want. Better yourselves. That's why you came here. No one's fucking with you. You're not getting deported. Have a nice fucking day. I really don't give a shit. That's my personal uh, internal opinion on the matter. I just don't give a fuck. You're an illegal immigrant. You're here. You're fucking cooking my hamburgers at, Joe's fucking Burger Shack. They're delicious. Thank you. I don't give a fuck. I really just don't give a fuck. However, like I said, if these people are given in-state tuition prices, I'll be fucking mad. Because I can't go to fucking Brown University at an in-state tuition price. I gotta spend out of state. I gotta give them fucking almost usually 30 to 40% more just because I don't happen to live in the same neighborhood for long enough, mind you. I haven't lived there long enough is the problem. So, that would piss me off. Okay, I'm kind of reading here. Let's read along, just so you're not bored watching me read. That's rude, right? So, beginning with class entering in the fall of 2017, first-year undergraduate applicants who hold undocumented or deferred action childhood arrival status and graduate from a U.S. high school as if they were a U.S. citizen or permanent residents. The change means that for the first time, first-year domestic students, undocumented, and DACA students will be considered under the university's need-blind admission policy, and that Brown will meet 100% of each student's demonstrated financial need upon matriculation. What? All right. This is a terrible sentence. And you'll have to forgive my ignorance, folks. This is why Wikipedia should not be used as an educational source. Matriculation is the formal process of entering a university or becoming eligible to enter by fulfilling certain academic requirements, such as matriculation. I bet you dictionary.com doesn't use the word in a fucking definition. Jesus Christ. Yellow things are things that are yellow. Well, you're a fucking moron. It's early, folks. I'm only halfway through a cup of coffee. To enroll in college, university candidate for a degree. To register, coat of arms, special. Yeah, okay. So that's kind of what I expected. I can't tell based on the way that this sentence is structured, but it almost looks like what they're saying is that Brown will meet 100% of each student's demonstrated financial needs. So it looks like Brown is going to pay for these undocumented students to go to school there. I really hope that this is just poor sentence structure and that what they mean to say is that if these students have demonstrated that they can provide their own financial needs, but I don't know. So I'm not going to comment on that too specifically because I don't want to be an idiot. But at the same time, I mean, you guys read it too, right? And Brown will meet 100% of each student's demonstrated financial need upon matriculation. That sentence really does read that Brown University is going to pay 100% of these undocumented students' needs financially. If that's the case, that's fucking ludicrous. I got $32,000 in student debt, and I still haven't managed to fucking pull a degree out of the goddamn works. Now, part of that is, I have to admit, because I've changed my major a few times, because I have had financial problems in general. Like, I tried to go to school in central coastal California, where rent is fucking an arm and a testicle, and I only got 2 arms and 2 testicles, folks. That's 1 semester's worth of payment for rent. That's all I'm saying. My point is that ain't no motherfuckers paying 100% of my fucking financial needs to go to college. I'm talking about community college. What the fuck? Now, again, I want to preface that I'm really praying to God that this is just a poorly written statement and that that isn't what that means. But I'm going to comment now as though that is what it means. And then if that's not what it means, then again, I'm still at the standing of, I just don't give a shit. Let these kids go to Brown University. Who gives a fuck? You fucking swam across the Rio Grande. You learned English well enough to enter an Ivy League school and you're fucking going to Brown University. Have fucking become a doctor or a lawyer or some shit. Good day. Have a nice day. Good for you. I don't think it's that big a deal. I have a problem with mass immigration. I don't think we should let just 1 million people come here at once, because immigration is a process of integration, and 1 million people simultaneously cannot integrate into anything, any culture simultaneously. Slowly and incrementally is how immigration and and integration should work. But that being said, again, it doesn't matter to me. I don't give a fuck if you fucking quote paid your dues. That doesn't make shit difference to me. I think it's a little unfair that the immigrants that I know that came over here legally, who know more about American history and politics and presidents and the way the government works than I do, because they had to study it and learn it and know it just to fucking come here. It is unfair to them. But with my forgiveness to those asking forgiveness of those people, I really don't give a shit. It's unfair. But you know what else is unfair? It's unfair that I lived in the state of Michigan before pot was medically legal and that I have a record for fucking being arrested for smoking weed. That's unfucking fair. Don't give a shit. I'm glad medical marijuana is legal in Michigan now. And I'm fucking super stoked for all my old friends in high school that can get stoned legally and not have to fucking stress or worry anymore. It's unfair that the change happened before it affected me, but I don't give a fuck. I'm glad that the fucking change happened. Brown wants to let undocumented students come to their fucking university. If they're qualified, if they meet the requirements intellectually and financially, who fucking cares? Do you really give a shit if Pablo going to become a fucking neurosurgeon who will someday fix your Alzheimer's didn't come here legally? Do you really give a fuck? I mean, if you do, you should really reassess your what's the word I'm looking for? I guess priorities will work. That's not really the word I'm looking for, but you got to reassess your priorities, because we are moving into a one world, and I don't mean a one world government, a new world order. Because that shit's real and scary all in and of itself, but I don't think it's an inevitability. What I do believe is an inevitability. Are you guys ready for this? I remembered today. We're going to be moving into a stoner theory here. Right? Well, I don't think that a new world order or a one world government necessarily is an inevitability. I do believe a one world culture. And I don't mean hegemony. What I mean is a recognition that at some point, a recognition that we are all one species living on one planet together, and that we need to find harmony and peace in order to explore space as one race forever, right? Which we already have the energy to do. We already have the capacity to explore space forever without any war or famine or fucking strife. It's a change. It's a choice between love and fear, as Bill Hicks said. We're not there yet, but that's an inevitability. If we choose to survive and continue as a species, that's an inevitability. So, this idea of borders, idea of nations, we should replace it with networks. There's some good study out there. Maybe I'll do an episode on that stuff. I hadn't considered that. I should. We will. We'll do a whole stoner series segment on this. Based on communities and cultures based on networks and network protocols, like computer networks and computer protocols. It's a theory that's derived from that which I love because the idea of computer networks and network protocols is actually derived from social structures, with human being social structures. Everything about a computer, the computer is mankind being God. The computer was mankind saying, I want to create sentient intelligence. It's the closest we've come to it. And companies like Google and Alphabet and Apple and Amazon, they're all working diligently to create that actual sentient intelligence. Kind of went off on a little bit extra stoner theory there, guys. Sorry about that. But it's true. So, what are you going to do? Get back on track here. The idea of borders, to me, is... oh yeah, that's where we're going. Networks. Sorry. The idea is that instead of having a border, you have understood social networks with social protocols, and you can be a part of many different networks simultaneously. And when interacting in those networks, you follow different protocols. So when, let's say you're a node, we'll call you node A, right? Your buddy Bill, node B. Kind of like your computer is node A with an IP address, and then it connects to a server, node B, with its own IP address, and they communicate. Networks, right? So while it connects to one network, we'll call that network Gmail, Bill, who you really do appreciate as a person for certain qualities. You grew up with Bill, but Bill's kind of a white supremacist, right? You're not. This means that on a functional level in terms of network protocol, the concept of discussing race politics, race superiority, white supremacy, Nazism, not liking those things, all of those kinds of conversations, you and Bill, to maintain a connection within the network based on protocols, would not discuss. You would choose to not discuss that. Whereas Bill may connect to node C, your buddy Steve, who is a fucking nigger-hating anti-Jew, fucking pure as can possibly be white supremacist Nazi motherfucker. Well, him and Bill are going to talk extensively about that. They probably will have a network protocol system where they don't talk about anything except for how awesome it is to be white. You will never communicate with Steve. But you can still communicate with Bill. Now, this is an ideological example of how networks could work as a social structure. But if you were to expand that and look at it on a macro scale, you could see how geographic locations and communities built on geographic locations could have similar network structures with other communities, right? Which is where you would have something like nations, like cities, but they'd be far less restrictive and far less based on imaginary lines drawn on geographic representations called maps, and be a lot more about actual social cohesion. Because that was supposed to be the idea of having counties, cities, and states and things like that, is like, if you got a group of farmers, they're going to have a different set of values than the group of metal manufacturers, let's say. Well, they will have some different values. So out in the plains, you're going to have a lot of farming. Next to the mountains where you extract the metal in the mines, you're going to have a lot of metallurgy. So you're going to have these different communities built on different regions. That's how it used to be. We don't need that anymore. We're now moving towards global existence and global society. So that's why I don't give a shit if Brown lets undocumented immigrants into their school. Who gives a fuck? You mean they don't have to go through all of the ridiculous bullshit that other foreign students have to go through to get into universities? They don't have to go through all the heinous fucking scrutiny. They don't have to have $400,000 in the fucking bank already, like half of these Asian students that come to schools here have to have. Good. That's awesome. Those are superfluous bureaucracy that is completely unnecessary and we shouldn't be doing anyways. This is a step in the right direction. Now, like I said, though, if they're letting those people pay in-state tuition, or if they're letting those fucking people pay, or they're paying for those people to go to college, these undocumented immigrants, that's fucking bullshit. If you fucking came here from Mexico, or Canada illegally, okay, you're not a fucking Rhode Island resident. You're just not. So you shouldn't be paying in-state tuition costs. You should be paying out-of-state prices, just like the fucking rest of us that travel to Rhode Island to go to fucking college. I don't know if that's where it is. That's where the article that was written is from. So I assume Brown's in Rhode Island. I really don't know. I've never really studied the college. I don't know much about it. I know where it's like where a lot of doctors and shit get their degrees. Anyway, I don't care. I don't care if those people get to go to college there. The finance part pisses me off. And again, the news article didn't really describe that. So I don't know the facts on what they pay or what they don't pay. The article did lead me to believe that Brown will be paying for the undocumented students, which is fucking ridiculous. It's virtue signaling bullshit. It's saying, look at us. We're helping the illegals. We're socially justified. We're awesome. We're paying for them. That's fucking ludicrous. But again, I'm just praying that the news article is poorly written. So now, this is the moment some of you have all been waiting for. And I don't blame you. It's important. WikiLeaks has released the new Guccifer Hillary Clinton emails in a nice fat zip file at 678.4 megabytes. Now, you can go here, you can unpack it and all that shit yourself. I suggest downloading this with something like Tor. I didn't. I just downloaded it like a dumbass, and I'm still waiting for the FBI to show up. They haven't, so, that's good. But I won't be publishing the anything other than just like this. This is the Conservative Outfitters. They've published this. This was their choice. I'm using it in fair use. And, if you don't believe me, let's just do that. Pisses me off that I live in a world where I have to do this shit. Content disclaimer. All right. Now we go back to this here. So first it shows a list of donators since 2008. Or up to 2008. And you see all these names and how much money they've donated. And then this Reddit user has gone to fucking town, dude. Has gone to fucking town. He starts pulling these names and looking up who they are. This guy gave $3.5 million, chairman of the FCC. This guy, fucking his wife, donated $716,000 fucking dollars. And her husband, director of International Broadcasting Bureau. This guy fucking pays $1.1 million, fucking nominated the goddamn ambassador to Luxembourg. This is a nice fucking city, folks, okay? These people are donating this money, and then they are literally getting fucking vacation jobs. I mean, think about it. Seriously, how much real diplomatic fucking work is some guy doing in Luxembourg, Germany? Motherfucker's sitting in an embassy at a goddamn computer all day, answering emails, and then he probably goes out clubbing, fucking eating ecstasy, banging hot fucking blonde German chicks all night because he's super rich and he just throws money at them. Oh, you don't know he's super... I mean, how the fuck else is the motherfucker going to give $1.1 million to the DNC? This is disgusting. They call this pay for play. It shouldn't be called fucking... Well, I guess that is accurate. They're not working. That's all I'm saying. They're not buying a job. They're buying a vacation dream job. I mean, their job is literally to fucking float around beautiful places all day. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't donate $1.1 million to the DNC, and then when President Obama becomes President Obama, he doesn't appoint you ambassador to fucking Alaska or Greenland or fucking, Saudi Arabia or some fucking hellhole. He doesn't do that. Not when you give him $1.1 million. I mean, let's continue. This lady, she She gave 1,025,000 Board of Director of Overseas Private Investment Corporation. Alexa Wesner. This lady here. Fucking $483,000. Ambassador to Austria. This guy gives 1.1. Ambassador to Finland. You know how fucking hot the Finnish women are? Fucking super hot. Holy shit. Anyway. Bruce fucking this guy here for Finland. Crystal this lady. 600 grand. Position United States permanent representative to United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization with the rank of ambassador. Do I have to really emphasize the power in the term permanent representative? That kind of sounds a little bit like appointment for life. Now, I don't know. I'm not a government person. I don't know how long that fucking thing lasts, but the word permanent makes it sound, well, kind of clear. This lady, down next, 605 grand, serve as concurrently as U.S. Ambassador to French Republic and Principality of Monaco. Fucking Monaco. Now, I may be wrong. We're going to do a quick Google search here, but I'm fairly certain Monaco is like this beautiful beach city in France. I'm not positive. Let's check out our geography. Yeah. Beautiful fucking beach village in goddamn France. Look at this fucking place. So this is what 600 and fucking some odd $1,000 buys you in the United States government. It's fucking disgusting, people. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. I don't even think I'm being an asshole. Like Walter. Maxed out contributions at $28,000. They get to go to, oh, it doesn't say where they get to go. But they still get to become ambassadors for only 28 grand. Okay, am I the only one that's seeing this as a fucking shopping list? Like a catalog? This is like a catalog for government. You ever wondered what it costs to become the fucking ambassador to Monaco? 600 grand. That ain't bad. Shit. I mean, yeah, you could probably buy an island for a little less in some Filipino nation, but I'm just saying, 600 grand for ambassador to some beautiful beach village in France. I mean, we all know the stories about French women, right? They're not only super hot, but like they do the kinky shit. I'm just saying. Sounds like a nice place to be if you're a rich, weird government dude or lady. Let's continue. John Ruse, ambassador to Japan, forms the Ruse Group. Donated $2 million. Now the Ruse Group is fucking making serious bank. Effective merger between the DNC and Obama's Organizing for America. Again, you guys can all check this out yourselves. I ain't clicking on these fucking links necessarily. OSFA is an internet research firm. If the PACs and the DNC are concluding preventing competition, other forms of internet research firms by preventing direct access. Wow, Obama showing a lot of corruption here. OFA and DNC systems hosted on same account. Possible campaign finance law violations. More evidence. Acorn was shut down because of the kind of collusion that OFC and DNC are engaging. Freddie and Fannie were used by Acorn to target red districts for subprime mortgage loans and then turn them blue, prompting housing crash. Holy shit. That's so fucking huge, I don't even know if the guy who found it knows. That shows possible fucking connection between the DNC and the housing market, specifically to redistrict fucking entire neighborhoods and districts to turn blue states red. Holy shit. Or red states blue, excuse me. To let that fucking sink in for a second. Just for a second, let it sink in. Wow. Wow. Do you know how many people lost their homes? How many lives were destroyed? People thought Katrina was bad. Jesus Christ, the 2008 crash sent people into a state of Katrina, and their houses still fucking stood with all of their property in them. Can only take so much to the storage unit in Uncle Tim's house. That's fucking huge. Worthy of investigation and possibly another fucking video. We'll see. More collusion, more collusion. List of donors. See this right here? This is the list we're going to do right now. This is incredible. This is what it looks like, folks. We're not going to look at the donor list right now because, again, I don't want to get hassled for fucking any of this kind of shit. Barrett Brown's still in prison for linking to this kind of stuff. Matthew Burzin, ambassador to the UK. These people are all on the donor list, folks. Don Bayer, I wonder what it costs to be the mayor or ambassador to Switzerland. Steve Wesley, CFO of California. California is not a company, people. It's a state. This should be an insight to those who are not aware that all of our world is governed by maritime law. Our states are registered corporations. Our country is a registered corporation. We all engage in a giant game called commerce. It's very interesting, but this is one of those little slivers of light that shine through in cracks of other information that shows you how the world is really structured. There's only one way to have a CFO of California. That's the Corporation of California. Just an FYI. Ambassador to Belgium, Ambassador to Luxembourg, Ambassador to New Zealand, Czech Republic, Finland, General, EU. Guys, oh, this guy got appointed Attorney General. Isn't it nice to know that your Attorney General is appointed? The guy who decides how to prosecute federal fucking cases in the nation. This fucking guy, the Attorney General. Oh, excuse me, Deputy Attorney General. Forgive me. I got excited for a second. I didn't see that. Well, still, I'm assuming the Deputy Attorney General is like the, like the assistant manager, so to speak. So it's still a relatively high piece of fucking legal power. Anyway, you pay, you get to be Deputy Attorney General. You pay, you get to be Ambassador to the EU. Unfucking believable. Unfucking believable, people. The DNC plan to destroy the House. Non-stop litigation. Fuck it. DNC plan. Overview. DNC is strong position for redistricting. The DNC data resources will be of incredible importance. We have favorable contracts with important redistricting vendors. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. It's just almost too much to fucking absorb at once, right? Right? Legislative redistricting software, seal GOP House seats in Texas, anti-white ethnicity-based gerrymandering prior to 2010 elections. Leaks contained donor credit card info. DNC did not protect that. This is illegal. Memo to Obama Deputy CTO Mike Conlow from 2010. Plan for manipulating information online. Are you guys starting to see the pattern of how fucking disgusting this shit is? Holy shit, folks. The DNC leaks, they're out there. I encourage you to go out and investigate this further. It's getting pretty much close time for me to go to the real job. So like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Follow us on the Instagram and the Twitter and all that shit, because it's fun. I do pretty much daily shit on the Instagram. You know, little minute-long rants about whatever. So, you know, check those out because they're fun. And thanks for tuning in, folks. I'm overwhelmed some days by the shit that's in the news, frankly. And for a while, I stopped doing these live broadcasts going over the news because, well, it gets taxing. You know, you get taxed in terms of emotion and your stress levels. And I just said to myself, you gotta fucking stop for a while. You gotta take a step back and, you know, embrace the inner cipher, recognize ignorance as bliss, and insert back into the matrix just for a minute. Now, I will say that is dangerous. So if you've escaped the matrix, do yourselves a favor, don't jump back in. We're not all fucking Neos out there. That is the beauty, though. In this matrix, in the real world matrix, there isn't just one. It's never going to be just one. Small group, maybe, but just one? No. So you too can be a Neo in the matrix. You can recognize the source code. You can see the world for what it is, and you can inject yourself when necessary. For me, I needed to take a moment to stop reading the source code because my spiritual eyes hurt. And anybody who's ever done any coding knows that you look at a fucking source code long enough and your eyes start to hurt. You gotta take a break sometimes. You gotta take a step back after 18 hours. I mean, fuck. My hands and my eyes are one of the reasons why I don't really do any computer programming anymore. Why coding isn't something that I do as with passion anymore. It fucking hurts. But I see the world, and I see the source code in the Matrix. The Matrix is an augmented reality. It's not a fucking computer engine. Not all of this is fake. You're seeing everything you're seeing. But the culture, the operating laws of your day-to-day life, that's all augmented reality. Once you see its source code, you can know what's legit and what's not. You can see what's the the poisoned code, so to speak, and what's real. So, but when you do that, sometimes you got to take a step back. So that's what I did. I quit doing the news for a while because, frankly, it was just kicking my ass. What can I do? I started an Instagram and I started doing daily fucking rants. That's what I did. And I'm going to keep doing those because they're fun. So as usual, folks, you're not told enough in the world that you're loved. So let me tell you now that I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe and share with your friends. The share part's really important. I don't really emphasize it as much. It's not about generating revenue or views. It's about generating community and view time, getting our search results higher up in the list. When people type in DNC hacks, I don't necessarily expect our video to be number one, but it's nice to see us on the first page. You know what I'm saying? So share this shit with your friends. Tell them that it happens. We're not doing any local news today, Reno folks. I apologize. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I just took too much damn time ranting and raving about the other shit, and I just didn't get a chance to get to it. But tomorrow, definitely. So, take it easy, motherfuckers. Have a nice day.